Okay, and we're in for round 2 against Paganiac. Paganiac? Paganiac. It's probably meant to be like Pagan Maniac smushed together. They are a maniac on the clock for sure. What have we got here? 1 land, ship it. One land on the draw with the scry and a 1-drop and a 2-drop. Sure. Do I not get this? Come on, Magic Online. I want my scry. Well, if nothing else, we can win the game with this. Blue. At least our opponent this time has basic lands. Well, sad times. Let's attack with this. Carrion Feeder going to get Mono Leaked here. Excellent. Oh, this is where that... Okay. We have the mirror. That's hilarious. No! It's fine, we can still win this. Oh, silly person. Oh, they will trade. I messed up. Why did I just do that? Never mind. Let's do it anyway. It's like this. I think we have to kill that. Land! If I draw another land, I think I genuinely animate dead the Carrion Feeder, because it gets them both back. Uh-oh. This is going to be some kind of Planeswalker, isn't it? Ah! That's gross. I would have been quite surprised if my opponent had sacrificed there. It's like, how swish is your deck that you sacrifice your 4/6 Death Touch on site? I'm so sad right now. We can still win this. We can animate dead Griselbrand if we draw Rotting Rats or something. Until then, pass the turn, I guess. Can't believe I threw this away though. That's really silly. I mean, not that it would do anything against the DC, but still. Come on. 2 more turns until we can discard Griselbrand to hand size. Yeah, whatever. Let's get in there with the Ghast. Please don't play spells. I don't want you to play spells. Wow. Not a surprise. I didn't mean to pass that. I'm so bad at Magic Online. Ah! We can discard Griselbrand to hand size now. Good times. The problem is this has Death Touch. I guess it makes a race of it. But I mean, our opponent probably has removal for this. But you know, what else are we going to do, right? Yeah, just we'll deal to that. Oh man, I hope our opponent doesn't reanimate Griselbrand from our graveyard. That is completely a possibility. Oh, we could have animated did that, couldn't we? I'm scared. Oh. Maybe they're holding up a counterspell. I'm still gonna go for it. Oh no. No. Oh. Well, this is going to get tedious. I guess... we drew a land! Woohoo. So happy, guys. I guess we can condemn it. That doesn't really help. We're ahead on the clock, so... let's play it out. Why not? Nope, not attacking into that. Oh, our opponent still gains life. Oh, so awful. I do like how they've recreated the old cards in the old flame with the old art, etc. But with new templating. I think that's kind of clever. Die. In response, draw 7 cards. Actually, that's pretty risky. If the opponent does that, we might actually win. No, because they still gain the 7 off of this. So they stay on 11. Yeah, we can't possibly win. I guess if they discard something really good and we animate dead from their graveyard, that could give us outs. Like if they've got a Blightsteel Colossus shuffles. Whatever it is probably going to trade with Sidisi anyway. I guess it could be a Shieldred. We could see a Shieldred. Because that would kill Sidisi without having to trade itself. But I don't see why the opponent would discard Shieldred here rather than just cast it. That's fine. Hopefully the opponent doesn't really know that we're playing Reanimation as well. We haven't shown them any. I mean, we might just be trying to cast Griselbrand and Mana Screwed. Which, you know, we have hardcast Griselbrand and won a game with it. Oh, go away. Okay. Shieldred would no longer be an out. Right. What's going in the bin? Oh, it's just going to be lands, isn't it? Dragonlords... We can steal Sidisi. I think we have to do that. We can copy it, but that puts us to 2, so we can't actually do that. We can steal Sidisi, sacrifice the Bloodghast, and tutor for a land. Or actually, no, because we'll have... We can tutor for Oust to get rid of one of these. Alright. This gives the game plan away, but... it also might win us the game, in theory. Highly unlikely, because our opponent probably has some removal, but we haven't seen any yet. There are often cube decks that just don't have any removal. I mean, this is kind of removal, right? Oh, Sidisi stays tapped. That's really annoying. I can't block with it. We have to fetch a blocker, I think. Yeah, that's awkward, actually. We're just dead. I messed that up. Should have gotten this instead. Oh, he has Death Touch too. That's interesting. Let's pass. Our opponent might mess up. And we get to see more of their deck this way, and take away some of their clock. If they do that. But yeah, all they no, they can put us to 1, can't they? Because we can block the Ophium. We can block the Old Man or the Ophiomancer. I assume this. But the opponent probably has like a Drain Life effect or something. But now we get to see it. What do we got? Massacre Worm. I guess that'll do it. Right. Okay. This is a good response to an opponent trying to do the same thing. Buried Alive might be bad here, because if we tap out for a Buried Alive, we just feed the opponent's game plan. This is probably also bad for the same reason. Makeshift Mannequin? No, that's your graveyard. But it is an instant, so we can use it in response. Sorin might be good. It's a threat that our opponent probably has a hard time dealing with. Yeah, that seems like a good idea, actually. What else could we do? This has lifelink. Lifelink is fun. Rotting Rats might be bad, just because it's symmetrical. Him is probably bad, although it's got an equal chance of hitting useful cards as it is. Reanimation Fodder. The removal has to stay. This is probably bad because it says non-black. And our opponent didn't show us that many non-black creatures, so I will cut that for maybe this Crux to get out to things. Also funny with / against Dragonlord Silumgar. Yes, we would. Can we have some land this time? We can. We have an Eternal Dragon to get the plains. We have... Oh, this is really bad against Narcolepsy. Not Narcolepsy, Necromancy. This is probably still a keep. I mean, it's got mana. It's got fuel for our own game plan. You know, we can play it and untap. I mean, my actual hope here is to draw a swamp, I guess. Maybe that would be boring. No, land will... That's not what I wanted, deck. I wanted a swamp. You make me sad. I'm still doing this. I have to do this. I guess if our opponent necromancies it, then life sucks. I forgot, didn't I? I'm so bad at Magic Online. Okay, we can do it in the end step of this coming turn and then Servitude it instead. Which is actually better against Necromancy. Well, sort of. I guess in that case the Necromancy trades with the Servitude. Yeah, I don't care about that. Excellent, now we have room to get it out. And, now because I messed up and didn't play the Bloodghast, our opponent doesn't get a Bloodghast. Good times. Right. Actually going to cast my spell this time. Well, activate my ability this time. Let's get a shrine. Do I care about the life loss? Do I want to keep it? We gotta, no, actually playing black sources to the board is a good idea. Yep, and then yeah. Oh, that's good. I really hope our opponent doesn't just go like forest, giant growth, steal it. Oh, the race is on. This might be a Cloud Goat Ranger sort of turn. Sure. Well, that does nothing here. I guess it discards Grizzlebrand or Bloodghast. But then she dies. So that doesn't massively help. Whereas I could just play this Cloud Goat Ranger instead. The opponent's probably going to tap to steal a token, but I'm kind of okay with that because that keeps this tapped. And in the meantime, we're beating in the air with the flyer. Good times. One nice thing about this, so if this dies, right, if this dies, the Diabolic Servitude comes back to my hand. This gets exiled, which sounds bad, but it also means our opponent can't blow it up and then resurrect it themselves, which is actually pretty handy. Also, if our opponent doesn't activate Old Man of the Sea, yeah, okay. Our opponent is doing the sensible thing. Here comes the snake. No. Our opponent wants to hold back the Cloud Goat Ranger. That makes sense. Well, that doesn't do anything. Do we cast this now that this is tapped? I guess so. Do we even... No. That... Oh, but now we have blockers to protect Liliana. So we can do that. We can also try and... Okay, if we play this and our opponent discards a sick bomb, we can just animate it and be happy. I mean, they'll probably just drop a land, which is fine. But, yeah. Let's get a Bloodghast. Always yield. Yup. And... attack! This is a very interesting mirror. The cat and mouse of necromancy versus not necromancy. Oh, they're stealing the Bloodghast. Awesome. Now we win. So our opponent is presumably drawn removal, or maybe is just misplaying. But they knew to steal the Kithkin last turn, so maybe here's going to be a Dragon Lord or something. Crafted. Ooh. Oh no. Ha! My joke about the pump spell. That is funny. At least it stays tapped. Do we have ways of getting rid of this? I don't think so. Do we have pump? The opponent is waiting on it. That's interesting. Well, I guess we gotta go for it. Oh, but now it's untapped. Clever. We can still attack, because if they trade the ranger, we get more soldiers, so that's fine. But maybe they just take 5 and pressure Lily with it. But yeah. So at this point we get to get cute, basically. Yeah, Modo, no one cares. Oh, that's interesting. It can be responded to. I didn't realise it wasn't a replacement effect. Our opponent might necromancy it here. Okay, they didn't. Okay, so now I guess we servitude first. And then if the opponent necromancies in response, we get to safely Grizzlebrand. Okay. This is really risky. Let's just hope they don't have it. I guess if they do, it dies at end of turn anyway. So, although they get to draw 7, but they then lose a bunch of life. Oh, right! I feel good about that. That was disgusting, what we just did. That was incredible. Does our opponent have the pump to steal Grizzlebrand? That would be silly. I guess if they do, we draw 7, hope to get oust. Alright. Maybe we win the game now. Let's draw some cards. Oof. We can oust the old man. And that way we get to swing in for lethal. Bye. You are now sad. I guess if the opponent is clever, they can steal this in response to give it summoning sickness. But the opponent missed it. Okay. Right, so we're doing 11 in the air, so we need Sorin. At this point we can probably just flunge. I mean, it is cute to give this... It's more reliable to give this flying, I guess. Is it even? Yeah, because if the opponent has something, I don't want it to die to the death touch. So let's just do that now, and then I can hit attack with everything for simplicity's sake. Sup? Awesome. Okay. The opponent was just making me go through with it. Okay, that worked out. Can we do it again? Our opponent didn't seem to have that many creatures. Or maybe they just didn't draw that many. This is... Either way, this is becoming more tempting. This is good as well, still. But is this better than just Ranger of Eos? The opponent can break up the Nightmare, so... It is a good idea to make sure we're playing all possible answers to Dragonlord Silumgar. But we do have the Crux of Fate for that, actually, so maybe that's fine. Oh, this says Pro Dragons. We should play this. Only question is, instead of what? Maybe we do cut the Ranger in this matchup. We don't need the Gravecrawler Carrion Feeder engine as much. So let's play a ridiculous Angel instead, which is immune to Dragon Lord Silumgar. And in fact, I think everything else they've shown us. Although I suspect they probably have the Shieldred. You know, it astonishes me that Cloud Goat Ranger was an uncommon. That card. Who designed that card? Who thought that was a fair uncommon? It's a 5-power, 5-mana flyer that, when it dies, you still get a bunch of 1/1s. It's like an Elspeth uncommon. Is that keepable on the draw? Probably. I mean, we can't really cast anything. We don't want a repeat of game 1. On the other hand, we have a lot of very good cards. So if we just draw land, we have a really good game plan, especially this to deal with Old Man of the Sea. So I think we keep that. This is also really nice because I think if you kill it, after it's been... No, ignore me. The opponent will own the trigger. Yeah, let's keep it. I'm durdling. Alright, let's not get Mana Screw this time. Taking a risk. Thoughtseize. Oh. That's going to take away the Nightmare. I dare say. Pretty sure I would take Recurring Nightmare here. Although Diabolic Servitude is almost as good. That said, no, with my hand, you've got to take the Nightmare. Unless the opponent has some... I think if the opponent takes something other than Nightmare, they have a card that is good against Nightmare, so they want me to play it. Maybe they have Enchantment Destruction, which is unlikely in blue-black. Okay, the opponent is sensible. Come on. Him to Turok. Sure. Let's see a Swamp next turn. Oh no, let's see a Godless Shrine, or a Marsh Flats. So then we can go turn 2 him, turn 3 Hallowed Spirit Binder. What? Okay. I mean, I'm on the draw, so go ahead. Maybe our opponent's actually playing Control, and the Necromancy was just for value. So I guess both cards are kind of... Okay. The opponent is more scared of him. So they probably have good cards in hand. Then again, him to Turok is just a scary card. We're going to get hit by another piece of discard here. Hey, at least this time we drew a land. That's pretty good. Old Man of the Sea? No, he's double blue. This again. Knock it off with the Ophiomancer already. It's fine, we can skin rend it at some point. And I guess try and grind through the snakes. Liliana. Blank as usual. I think the fact that we were on the draw has been kind of important in this game, because we've both played... Like, I guess our opponent can attack for 1 repeatedly, but then we get to... Ooh! Actually, that's fine, you do that. So our opponent's basically playing, like, kind of nothing cards here. I guess if we draw a land, we can jam Liliana and just plus it. And sort of happily be ahead. Although that said, if I draw land, I'm probably going to play a Skin Render. Godless Shrine. Either way, I'm paying the life. Right, I guess it's time to put my money where my mouth is. I think I want the Skin Render because it turns on Liliana's -2 by removing the Ophiomancer. I mean, the opponent could resurrect the Ophiomancer, but I don't think I care. And now we have 2 blockers, so the Waterfront, and the opponent has very little by way of a tanking. So I'm not scared of that Waterfront Bouncer. I guess it is a discard outlet, so the opponent could bounce a creature and then Necromancy a scary threat. That would be bad. That is bad, because that undoes all of the one-for-oneing themselves to death our opponent just did. I think... So if we attack here, I guess the Spirit Keeper gets killed. And we can Lily and minus and get in for 3. Or we can play the Cloud Goat Ranger and have a bunch of creatures out and then start getting in the air. I think that's a better plan. I mean, Cloud Goat Ranger has proved itself to be absolutely insane in every other game so far, so there's no reason why it shouldn't continue. Do we attack anyway? Is it worth making the trade? Probably not yet, because the opponent can in theory resurrect our Skinrender and kill the Cloud Goat with it, so we don't want that to happen. We want it to happen on our own terms. Next turn, we attack. If the Skinrender dies, we bring it back. I imagine the Spirit Keeper will bite it first, though. And the opponent will take the rest. It might be good to just swing with everything if they don't play another threat here. But I kind of want to... Actually, it might be a good idea to get these guys off the board so that we can minus and kill... try and grind through Dragonlord Silumgar? No, that's very difficult. Sidisi here might be... Sidisi here would be bad, actually, because they'd Sidisi into Silumgar and probably win the game. That's not so bad. We can just attack with a load of 3-power creatures. And then Diabolic Servitude, whichever ones die. Alternately, we can start the Liliana train. Which suppresses the arena a bit, but not by all that much. I think I like the part where I attack here. Let's bait the trade. Our opponent doesn't have Necromancy up, so we can get away with this. Swing with everything. The other nice thing is that if the opponent blocks the Spirit Keeper here, we get 2 creatures back instead of 1. Okay, as expected. Well, which also means we now have chump blockers for Dragonlord Silumgar, which is awesome. Modo, I do not care which order those go in my graveyard. That happens. Actually, this is interesting. Maybe we just Lily and minus. No, I think we have to get the Ranger back. It is, as they say, just way too much value. Let's not click the wrong one here. Even if our opponent casts Damnation, this isn't that bad. Because we still have a Liliana. Although the Unlife is kind of scary. But then we just... Next turn we just attack for a whole ton of damage. I'm still scared of Silumgar here. But our opponent hasn't played a land yet. CDC? Necromancy on the Nighthawk? How much power do I have on board while we're waiting? 8, 14. So if our opponent doesn't have any blockers, theoretically speaking, like say if we top deck an Oust for whatever the creature is, Liliana minus... No, Oust gains them life. Sad times. Oh, that's fine. We can deal with that. That is to say, we can just attack into that a whole bunch. That is a land. So if we swing with everything, one of these gets blocked by the Necromancer. That maybe chumps. We don't do quite lethal through the Necromancer, which is irritating. But it puts the opponent to very low life, so they are incentivized to chump block with this. Which means we can Lily minus and kill the Necromancer. Actually, that said, just realised if we minus and kill the water, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, swing with everything. I guess we could see a discard here. But that's much the same as blocking, really. If the opponent does discard, we can Liliana and plus and maybe capitalize on that a bit. But I don't know if that massively helps, because that'll still leave them with one card in hand and drawing up. Discarding negate. They're gonna regret that. Sure. So the opponent blocks, takes, is that 10? I think that's 10. We can't Lily and Ranger, which is a mite awkward. Lily minus, she dies, but not that badly. But Ranger is just like, we can swarm around whatever the opponent gets back, I think. I think they're on low enough life that even if they resurrect Silumgar, which they probably haven't done because they discarded a negate, which I assume they think is useless. They could draw into Silumgar land here, hold up all blockers. Even then, I think if they have 4 blockers, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power going through, yeah. So I think it's damnation or bust for the opponent here. If they do have damnation, that's actually pretty bad though. Although we do get to servitude back the skin render. Our opponent is really not afraid of doing that. Bit odd. Oh, where did that come from? Oh, they just discarded it. Are we dead? Wow, I completely didn't think of that. I think we just die. That's really clever. Wow, that is masterful, I have to say. I'm just going to auto-yield there. That's perfectly 0 as well. I'm going to give my opponent a well played for that. Alright. Oh, we were the last to finish again. I put up a good fight. Alright, so I'll take a very quick break, and we'll be back for round 3.